Just check if you have these tools with you. You may think it's ChatGPT. No, I'm sure that you have these things at home. These can be called tools because this will help you speak fluently in English. When I was a child, I had all these tools because I didn't have access to the digital tools or the AI tools that we use now. It's not good to rely on AI tools all the time, but these things can help you with consistency and also with speech, with ideas, with thought flow. Let me introduce these tools to you along with a website. Are you ready? Learning a language is made difficult because of too many options. I've already done videos on this particular point. It's easy, not as you think. But today's video is all about these tools, and they are very simple tools. They're ordinary like you and me, and they can be really useful. You may think, what? This one? This tool? I've been using it during my school days and college days, but it did nothing. But you can make use of this consistently, and this will definitely add. Okay? So there is one device that people use. Maybe 20 years back, I used something different, but I will give you examples. I will give you some pointers from my life. Now, don't have the impression that these are very difficult tools. I have tagged the products also. By the way, I'm shooting outdoors and there are houses nearby. People are cooking, people are walking up and down. But I just love talking to you sitting here in the open air. It gives me so much relief. Welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Renee Rose Matthew, and thanks for joining me. Let's begin with something that you already have. Listening. Listening is very important, in order to work on your pronunciation, accent, and even to listen to sentences, to get used to the language that is already there in your mind. What am I trying to say? You know English, it's dormant, it's sleeping inside your mind. Maybe you're not using it. In order to awaken, in order to develop the skills that you already have that's dormant within you, you need to listen carefully. And for that, you need to use a headset. So you may think, what are you trying to say? I do listen, and I have all these devices. We have different stereo systems. We have different ways of listening to podcasts. You can even do your work and listen to a podcast. But remember, when you're seriously working on your language skills, if you want good accent, even before accent comes pronunciation. Of course, they go hand in hand, but pronunciation, if you want to work on it seriously, you have to pay attention. I know that people just scroll through reels, they look here and there. They could be listening to the content, but they may not be giving attention to the words, they may not be giving attention to the sentences. That can really have a detrimental effect. So you have to pay attention to the words. Try to use a headset. Try to use earphone if you have AirPods, earpods, whatever you want. There are differences between these devices. You have to find the one that's right for you, something that's budget friendly. I'm not saying that you have to go for this high tech and the most advanced things with excellent features. I'm not advertising. But what I'm trying to say is you have to go for something that will definitely demand your full attention. So even when I was a student, I used to make these mistakes. I used to keep listening to podcasts, in the sense I used to even listen to English songs or the talks that you have on FM, the kind of talks that you get in cassettes, okay? I used to look here and there. I used to talk to my friends, and then between I'll come back, I'll rewind. I'll do all these things. So today we can go back to the videos, we can rewind, replay. All these things can be done even on YouTube. Even now you can do that. But most of us are lazy. We keep doing our work. Of course, we want to save time, but definitely you have to listen for at least 15 minutes without doing anything. Pay attention. You can cut vegetables and listen to the podcast, but make sure that you are paying attention to the words. There are chances that you think about tomorrow's agenda, tomorrow's meeting. Sometimes I end up thinking about my videos or what I'm supposed to cook today, tomorrow. How would I prepare that and then go for my training sessions? All these things happen at the back of your mind. But make sure that you give your complete attention for that 15 to 20 minutes and see the magic. And for that, something that can definitely help you give the complete attention is a device. It can be a gadget, anything that you can afford, because that will definitely help you concentrate, focus, and give your complete attention. I'm trying to give you all these guidelines because I grew up making these mistakes. And today, many learners come and tell me, ma'am, I listen to many podcasts. I keep listening to so many things that's created by BBC or that's created by many people who teach English, who learn English. But remember, it's not just the conversation videos. But if you are listening, you have to give that attention to yourself and to the content you have been listening. Okay, it can be anything. And in one of the next content videos, I will suggest, yes, definitely I'll suggest some 5 to 6 podcasts that you can follow. You can listen to anything, but to begin with, you can go for this. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I have it here. I'm trying to search for it. Okay, these are simple things. You can make use of pencils and highlighters, but highlighters, these cute highlighters that I have, or the highlighters that you really want, it'll be there in your drawer, it'll be there on the table, but maybe you're not using it. When you want words to get registered in your mind, you have to underline the words. I do that. You can underline with pencil, but if you go back to your school days, you would have used a lot of colors. And generally, children learn a lot through their senses. They touch, they feel, they see, they ask questions. In your case, you ask a lot of questions, but are you really using your senses in the right way? You can use highlighters, you can observe the words, you can avoid making spelling mistakes. These help the words to get registered better in your mind, believe me. And this can really be productive. You can make use of color pencils if you don't have highlighters, and highlighters are not very costly. I have purchased a couple of them. These are not the only highlighters that I have. I've tagged most of the highlighters that I use in my novels and in the books that I read, because some of them may bleed. So you don't want the highlighters to spoil your books. The point of using colors is to help you give the complete attention. It also grabs your attention. When you go back to a book that you've already enjoyed, and if you have underlined at least 10 words, and slowly, subconsciously, you will be able to recollect the context also. Don't worry if you're not able to remember the context. Definitely, these words will grab your attention. And then I've already done a video on how to remember words. You can go back to those 2 videos and understand better, because we all are living in a fast world. And do you think we're going to remember everything that we read? No. There should be some tricks and tips to help you out, to grab your attention, to give your full attention, and to avoid yourself from getting distracted. And in order to avoid distraction, meditation, yoga, and all these things alone will not help. You have to put in some effort, because I also get distracted. We have too many options today in this world. And in such cases, the scenario is completely different from what we experienced maybe 20 years back or from my childhood. But still, there were a lot of distractions, and it's our responsibility to use these kind of tricks to play a very small game on our mind. One more thing, do not play games when you listen to podcasts. Recently, one of my learners said, ma'am, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I love doing it when I play games. As an adult, definitely you can watch cartoons, you can play games. Cartoons also help you learn some words, but remember, you have to pay attention to whatever you're doing. That is my point. The next one. Okay, let this be here. I've already shown this. And this is something that I have elaborated through the vocabulary videos. How to remember words. I have given enough pointers there. You should have a kind of pocket diary. This is not a pocket diary. This is a simple diary, but you can have a pocket diary. I'll show you a pocket diary. It is available on Amazon. I have tagged also here. You can find it. It is available on Amazon, Flipkart, and it's very small. You can carry it in your handbag, or you can just keep it in your dashboard. Here I've written all the words. So when I read books, I go an extra mile to paint the covers of the books. You don't have to do that necessarily. It's not important. You just have to write the words like this. So I give the cover page of the book, I write something. Okay, I make it interesting for me. These are the ways I make things interesting for me. And then I write down the words without the meanings so that you will be able to go back to this book whenever you have time and use the words in your conversation. Okay, make it slightly predictable for you. When you keep reading consistently, things will become slightly predictable where you can use these words conveniently and with appropriacy. Okay, you don't have to do all these artwork. Don't worry, I will show you the other tools. This is something that you already know. Yes, it's there in your house. Maybe it's lying somewhere in the bookshelf. Today you have online dictionaries, you have tools, you have different things to help you out, even ChatGPT. But never rely on ChatGPT all the time. If you really want to look for a word, if you want to look up the meaning and the context, you can ask ChatGPT because it is accessible, it is readily available. But you know, the benefit of using a dictionary is more than you think. Because you go through these pages, suppose I want to look for the word combust. I have to go to the words beginning with C-O. I turn my pages like this and then I go to combust and I look at the meaning and I get the meaning there. Okay, so you should make sure that you turn the pages like this, which help you go through the other words. You don't have to learn the meanings of every word that comes your way because as you turn the pages, you may see other words like caption, butter, buttercream, all these things, burden, bossy. But you go to the words beginning with C and then C-O, C-O-M. It's like an exercise to your brain and to your mind. Combust means to catch fire, burn. You get the meaning like that, combustion. All these words are there. So turning the pages may take extra 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but it's worth. When you're at home, you can use a dictionary. Otherwise, you can make use of online dictionaries. You can make use of ChatGPT or even Google. But make sure that you read the sentences because I have heard learners and even I myself can see that some of the words do not have the right meanings on in a single website. Suppose you refer to one particular dictionary online, you may not get the exact meaning. You may have to refer to multiple dictionaries and multiple contexts to understand the meaning. One dictionary may just give one meaning, one context. Okay, so I'm not saying that you have a single dictionary or this particular dictionary is going to give you the meanings to every context that's available for a word. You can make use of dictionaries to give exercise to your fingers and to your brain, and definitely it adds to your language skills. I'm also not asking you to go the hard way, but remember the exercise that you can give to fingers, just like how some of you are into art, drawing, writing. You can make use of your dictionaries at least twice a week. Definitely it's magical. Okay, so I still have more tools. The next tool is, I'm going to introduce one website. I really wish I had this website during my childhood days in order to get the exercises, to get grammar concept in my mind. It's called Grammarism. As you can see, I've given the interface. You go to the website like this and you can solve many worksheets there. And it's fun. It'll give you the right answers. But remember, these are individual sentences. These are not contextual sentences. So you will get an idea of the difference between past continuous, present perfect, past perfect. So if you're getting confused, you can solve these worksheets and instill some confidence. That's the purpose. The purpose is not to help you to speak fluently with a flow, but these are the baby steps that you can take. Do you want me to do a video using this particular website? Yes, I can do that and we can have some fun. I can read out the sentences to you and maybe you can click the right answers and you can give back the right answers to me. Okay, so here the point is they have segregated it according to the topics in grammar. That's why it's called Grammarism. So you may ask me, ma'am, did you use this when you were a child? Definitely, I did not use this. I did not have access to these things. It did not exist during my childhood days. I used to refer to grammar books. And why did I refer to grammar books? Not to learn English. It's only to find out the difference between this perfect tense, past perfect tense, present perfect tense, or maybe present continuous tense and past continuous tense. Like that, sometimes we can get confused when teachers talk about these things. But I began using it in sentences through trial and error method, and definitely through reading and listening. It's really helpful to take those baby steps to allow somebody else to correct your answers and give you that green line, or just help you out saying that you can try better next time. Okay, so this is one tool. We have two more things in the list, and that's a pocket book that can be used for vocabulary, writing down vocabulary, and the flashcards. Yes, definitely I want to introduce this to you, and it is coming up. This is the notebook that I mentioned earlier in this video. You can see it's handy, very small. You can carry it along with you, write down words, phrases, or even some lines from the books you read. And then I have these flashcards. It's available on Flipkart, Amazon, everywhere. It's a multi-purpose flashcard set. You can write words, phrases, use it for the daily activities. Activities are already mentioned on the channel. Please go back. So these are the two things I wanted to mention. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll come back with more happy learning.